This is Kathryn Goetzke, host of the Hope Matrix podcast. We are here to share science, stories, and strategies for how to hope. I'm the Chief Hope Officer of the Shine Hope Company, and Shine is the mnemonic for how we teach hope. So when we talk about hope, we talk about how we use stress skills, happiness habits, inspired actions, nourishing networks, and eliminating challenges, which are our thinking patterns that get in the way of our ability to hope. Hope is a skill. You can measure hope, you can teach hope, and you can start practicing skills to activate higher hope in your life today. And on this Hope Matrix podcast, we aim to bring in guests, experts in science, people with stories, and those that have strategies for activating hope in your life. Well, hello, everyone. This is Kathryn Goetzke, host of the Hope Matrix podcast. Really excited to have you here today. I am sitting with, in front of me, a miracle. His story so inspired me. I saw him on LinkedIn and reached out and said, I really want to talk to you. I want to learn from you. I want to gain some wisdom from you and have you share it with the world, because I think you have so much to teach us all. So I am really grateful to have here Robert Chelsea. Welcome to the Hope Matrix. Robert, thanks for joining.
Yeah, thank you.
You've already brought me to tears. We talked for a couple minutes before we got on, and he's, so sweet. And Robert, you have so much humility as well, and so kind, and have a very this sense of safety around you. That's really it's pretty amazing. So I'm really grateful to have you here and to share more of your story and some strategies for how you navigated your challenges and got to hope. I think a lot of times my dad died by suicide when I was 18 years old. He gave up. So I'm on a mission to ensure no matter what people face in lives, they're in their lives, they're able to find their way out of those moments of hopelessness back to hope. And you obviously have some skills. So thank you again for joining.
Oh, yeah, thank you. You give me a little, not a little, but much more credit. I also think not just to me, but I don't know if man deserves that much credit, really. We do so many things to get ourselves in trouble, if you will. Even when we do good, we have, especially men, we have ulterior motives. How many people are kind or try to be kind or nice or congenial without some other, expect something that balances their efforts out. It's natural. That's not sinful. That's natural, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A lion just, doesn't know how to be as compassionate. It's just not in it to do that. And without the opportunity to change environments or to be treated in such a way where you're persuaded to make that adjustment, you won't do it. Why should you? You got your own life in your own way. So when I am offered words of accolades, it's still very difficult for me to. I can appreciate them, but I also have to have my response, and it's usually not quite commensurate with what they're saying about me. And what do I mean by that? People will say, I don't know how much your audience knows about me, but
they won't know anything. So we gotta tell them your whole story.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's go back about 11 years. So that's probably the most current set of events that more people have been drawn to, and that's because I was in an auto accident, and a drunk driver swerved over to my side of the freeway and caused my car to blow up. And as a result of that, of course, I was in the car, so I got blown up. And from top to bottom, I was all burned up. And my lips were burned off, part of my tongue. And I was conscious during that time as well. I went into a coma after telling the ambulance drivers who I was and who to contact because I didn't realize I was so severely burned. And I laid on the gurney in the ambulance, and when I woke up, it was actually 6 months later. I was in a coma that long, and then they still kept me a year and a half, a total of about a year and a half. Another year, they kept me in the hospital because my organs still weren't working right, and they thought I would die. So that part of my journey began about 11 years ago. They subsequently had to amputate a few of my fingers and toes because they turned gangrene. And I eventually received a face transplant. I looked like a Halloween mask. And they felt that plastic surgeries, all the as where I am now. I'm in a hotel right now in San Diego, and I'm here because this evening I'm supposed to receive what they call the Patient of Courage Award, sponsored by the American Society of Plastic Surgeons. But anyway, all the plastic surgeons that I went to, all those plastic surgeons, most of them said that they couldn't do anything for me because my lips were burned off. They could cover my lips and my gums, but it wouldn't have they could put a flap on basically, but I wouldn't have any control to be able to move my lips. There would not be any nerve endings to control it. So their alternative was a face transplant. And eventually one thing worked out to the other, and I was able to qualify, even though the age qualification for a face transplant at the time has only been about 42nd in the world.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, so the cutoff age was 50 years old. However, when I started talking with the plastic surgeons, they started calling me, and I was already 64 years old. And eventually, I did have the face transplant in 2019. At that time, I was 68, and I was going to be, so I'm 74. I'm 73 now. Yeah.
Wow.
73 right now. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of why I guess why we got a chance to meet each other and talk about how to shine and hope. But uh, my hope is what I have to say doesn't hurt someone else's feelings because my hope is sure. It's a hope of faith or trust or belief. Uh, it it can hold water for a while, but there's a point where you gotta know. You know where you gotta know where you're going.
Yeah.
You gotta know what's up.
Yeah.
See? And it's where those that are able to discover that are so fortunate.
Yeah.
And this knowledge came from God. providing.
Yeah.
And so many don't want to hear that God did that or He did. Well, you can trust and believe whatever you keep on believing if you want. But whatever hope that might be shining today for that person, it'll fade away.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
what greater substance?
yeah.
You
And
know,
and hope also requires action. So it's faith and then it's action, self-action. Like you've got to actually listen and take action. And to me, it's what's so amazing about your story. You know, you had the most challenging one challenge after another. And when we talk about hopelessness, we talk about emotional despair, so sadness, anger, fear, which I'm sure there was a lot of all of that. And then helplessness, so powerlessness to do anything about it. And even hearing that, you know, the age was 50 and you got it in your late 60s. I mean, so amazing. Like, and you had to do something to make that happen. And so it's just incredible.
well, see, now you're starting to give me credit again for what I have yet to even get close to earning. I have what what is it? People say to me, "Oh, Robert, you are just so courageous. I couldn't have done what you. I could not have the strength. Oh, Robert, I don't know how you could have endured this." But I'm so glad you did. I really admire you. You are a rock star. You are the bomb.
Yeah, I know. So now you need to teach
Yeah.
us. You need to teach us. So how did you manage the anger? I mean, were you angry at the drunk driver? Were you like, how did you not just fall into anger? How did you not fall into sadness? How did you not fall into fear?
Well, again, you're asking me how I see. Then let's just go back a moment. All right, so you're in a coma.
Yeah.
And somebody says, "Well, I knew you were going to fight your way out of that, and I knew you were going to survive it. I knew you were so strong. You were this, you were that." Now, just tell me, Kathryn, how are you, what strength, what tools, what knowledge, what ability, talent, uh, courage, or whatever you want, what do you have in you to get to fight your way out of a coma?
I
Nothing.
know.
Nor do I. When you come out the coma and you've got all these wires, I mean, hookups everywhere, G tubes, you got every respirators, all this whole nine. What do you do to get out of that? The doctors hardly can help you. So when people say, "Oh, you were so strong, you were able to," oh, I couldn't have, well, I couldn't either. I'm no different than anyone else.
Uh-huh.
However, God was able and always has to carry us through. Well, Robert, I'm sure you were angry. I'm sure that you had a tough time forgiving. Well, does God have a tough time forgiving you? Do you have a tough time forgiving your children? I mean,
Uh-huh.
you get angry with them for a moment, see,
Yeah,
but
so but how
that
do you
goes
manage
away
the
so
anger?
quickly.
Does it? But how do you get the anger to go away? So how do you let go of the anger? So people
Well,
that are holding on to anger, like you've got to also do something. Like I hear you on God, and I think when I get angry, I need to take responsibility for my anger, and I need to figure out how to navigate it.
well, I will, see, there's a lot of what people will call techniques, but uh, there's number one, the way I got out of it, to use that term. Uh, God brought me out, and He allowed me to have an inner peace that would pass all comprehension or understanding. So Did I have to do a whole lot? No. See, we in our minds we think action, activity. If we're just, sitting or standing or waiting or hoping, we're not, we're not accomplishing very much. We're not contributing to get ourselves out of a situation. But I will submit that my valley experience, I'll just use that term. See, we have mountaintop experience, we have valley experience. Well, how about when you're in the valley enjoying the ride? It's, if God saw fit to allow you to go into it or experience it, well, don't you think, just like you as a mother or a parent, don't if you allow your child to do or go anywhere, you still have one eye zeroed in on them, and you allow them to go there to learn or to enjoy, to develop, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the same thing with God. He provides such a comfort, and that child that you are allowing to go through all of this,
Mm-hmm.
they don't mind it. They're hardly complaining. They don't know that they're actually in danger, or that they're subject to, because you have provided them a degree of safety. It's kind of like, I noticed how in my later years I always wondered why females like to, when they're walking with a man that they feel comfortable with, they might hold his arm, just kind of hold his arm. They don't have to hold hands. Just for some reason, they like to hold a man's arm, and as they walk.
Yeah.
And it's just what's in it. But they, for some kind of way, I suppose it's some kind of degree of safety.
Yeah. Yeah. It's our most basic human need.
Yeah,
Well, so if
that's
you look,
interesting because see that safety that you can hold on to. You ask how do I? Well, sometimes we can't ask or act upon it, but uh, just like or even a nurse, they go and they assist even when the person hasn't asked. They
yeah.
see a need when a person doesn't realize the severity of it.
Uh,
Uh, it's kind of like, if a man and woman are sitting in the house together, and the guy's friend comes over and he's got a cut on his arm or something. Let's say,
yeah.
so he says, "Hey Joe, you got a band-aid or something? Because I got a little cut right here." Well,
Uh,
Joe will say, "Okay, yeah, go into the bathroom. There's some band-aids right there in the cabinet."
yeah.
But the woman, she will not just say, "Okay, go," but she'll get up, go get the antiseptic, get the band-aids, get up, and she will not just give it to him, she'll put it on.
Yeah.
That that is,
Uh,
I mean, so that's the kind
okay.
of comfort
Yeah.
God
Yeah.
can provide. You don't have to always ask. There's not
Yeah.
doesn't always have to be the action, but
Yeah.
allow him to love you. Just
Right.
allow him. And I mean, who he's created you. So why
Yeah.
wouldn't he want to
Yeah.
spend time indulging and
Yeah.
actively caring for you?
Yeah. I mean, still, it still would suggest that you had anger, that you had sadness after the accident, that you had fear. I mean, is that inaccurate? Did you just not feel any of those feelings?
Well, see, now this, remember I said at the outset, it might be something you wouldn't want to hear or not able to, but no, I
Yeah.
didn't. I did not have any pain. The
Uh,
first, during the accident, I did feel some burn spots like on my lip, and uh, I know on my knee, and maybe one or two other places, but not the severity that we would imagine. See, naturally speaking, we think, "Oh my God, you're on fire." As a matter of fact, to tell you this, just an idea of the severity, if you can see my hands, they're cadaver skin. My hands, these hands are cadaver skin. They were melted off. And a friend now, he's a friend now, but he was a good Samaritan, helped me get out of the car. And he said he tried to take my arm, but my arms were melting. So he had to take a belt buckle, put it around the waist, and gently carry me over. We checked on the driver to see, and he wasn't hurt at all. So we continued on to a safe area because we were on the freeway, you know. So yeah. So I did not have any pain since then, and I went into the coma when I got laid down in the ambulance, uh, and I woke up 6 months later. So, and even with the transplant, as a matter of fact, I'll see my doctor today, my transplant surgeon today, and well, you know, this evening, he's a part of the ceremony. But he can attest to me not having any pain in the surgery. And when I came out of the face transplant, there was no bandages, not one bandage around my face. So, again, action. Well, how about you see, your action can be to let go and let God.
Yeah. So is that what you would tell kids right now that are that are super violent and getting in fights and with guns? And I mean, how would you tell them to navigate their rage and anger?
Well, we're talking rage and anger.
Yeah.
So I did not have. Well, I'll try to address that, but I didn't have rage or anger. As a matter of fact, I know people. They're all, you know, it's common again to ask questions like that. Well, could you ever forgive the person? Could you? And I can tell you, Kathryn, I don't have a reason to, to, to forgive him, but there's no reason to charge him. I mean, yes, it was a terrible incident, and he had 3 DUIs. He had three previous, uh, uh, convictions of drunk driving, or at least driving under the influence. But uh, I, I don't have it. I just don't see it was an accident. Now, let me ask you. You can, you can. I mean, we're talking public now, so you don't have, don't answer if you're not comfortable. But have you ever lied? Have you ever cheated?
No, I know. Yeah, right.
Have you ever misled anyone?
Yeah,
Have you
absolutely.
caused anyone else to stumble or cause an accident?
I
See, have
know.
you been deceptive? Now, what nerve would I have? Because he happened to be committing an accident. As many, I'm so past 70 years old, as many as I may have caused, I dare not say, okay, God, go get him. That's because he did it to me. But then I'd have to ask him, well, then, if you're going to judge, then you might as well judge me first. And I hate that. So if you talk about anything I'm going to hate, it wouldn't be him. It would be daring to not forgive someone. There's a man that said to someone else, he said, well, how many times should we forgive a man? 7 times? And the wise man replied, no, 70 times, sir. Well, that was a wise man that answered that. Now, you can do it your way and do it 7 times, or we can do it God's way and go an infinite amount. You see, it becomes, you might have to practice for a while because of this old flesh and this old heart soul that we have. But eventually it softens up, it mellows out. And that's why earlier we were talking before we got on the air. Look at how easy it seems to be for the female to acquiesce, to still allow her love to care for that child or the loved one, whoever it might be, in spite of, whatever they did wrong or disrespected or she has some kind of way within her to forgive, to overlook, to still care, not just care, but lovingly care. Oh man, it's so powerful. And if you can do that naturally as a natural female woman, how much more if God can provide greater comfort that so that child, that's why there's not a child around that can't say they don't appreciate their mother. So she sticks with them. She cares for them. She nurtures them. All this. Well, how much more is God able to? So don't think it's strange or unlikely, unusual, uh, uh, rarely done. No, it isn't. It's just that we, like you were saying, we like to have action ourselves. We like to do things ourselves. So you get too busy and you hardly ever are able to uh, meditate on God's precious ways, not just His word, but His ways. There was Moses said once. He probably said it many times, but he said, "Father, all men can see your works." He said, "For you provided water out of a rock, and you've been feeding us with manna from heaven every single day for 40 years." You know, you opened the Red Sea. All men could see your works. He said, "But I want to know your ways." I mean, I would like to have a greater before now. I would like to have a greater sensitivity as a mother has for their children. That's that I could give that to a child, that kind of love and soft, tender caring. That's beautiful. And now that I'm experiencing this from our Heavenly Father, the women can go where they want. Now, God has uh, He has proven to me. David said, "Though I walk the valleys of shadows of death, I fear no evil, for God was with me." Well, now I know that wasn't just poetic. I know that he just wasn't writing something really nice, like people write good songs but he was writing what he had personally experienced. God was with him. He had no fear because God was not because he acted or he had such a whatever but God was with him. His rod and staff comforted him. They provided table before him. So what did he do? What could he do? What did he have to do? But enjoy the ride. If God allows you to go through challenges, I assure you, so far at least, in spite of the way I might look and all the conditions
You
and
look
all that.
amazing. Are you kidding me? You look amazing. You feel
Well,
amazing. Yeah.
well, the face is new, so that
New face. I
it's a
love it.
darn face, you know. But it's worth if he sends you into, you might say, the valley.
Mm.
I thus far I've enjoyed every corner of that valley. How are you going to discover that there's lilies in the valley? How are you going to discover it? Unless it's natural for us, if we get dropped into a hole, we want to jump out, we want to, we want to climb our way. I mean,
Yeah.
do something to get up. But have you ever allowed him to tell you why you're there in the first place?
Yeah.
Do you take the time for him to, you know how we take a child to a museum and places and we say, oh, look, Johnny, look at this. And
Uh,
Johnny just looks and quickly moves away from him and goes somewhere else.
yeah.
Johnny never spends the kind of time
Yeah.
that
Wonder.
you are cherishing. Oh, Johnny, you got to see this. Oh, look at no, Johnny's moving on. But that's what we do.
Yeah.
But if we in the valley, let God show you he's got lilies over here, and he's got a rose over there. He's
Mm.
got a bed, a 7-course meal over here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We call those happiness habits and experiencing wonder and awe and really taking time to intentionally do that. Because, like you say, we do move so fast and
Yeah,
we have desensitized ourselves to all of the wonder all around us.
that's right.
And it takes intention and practice to slow down.
But and those bullies that you were alluding to, how do you deal with them? That's what I really, when I go to schools, especially, I try to wear loose clothing so that they can not just see my hands, but I show them my legs and how they look because uh, they don't realize that their fellow peers that's in the same classroom that can't walk or talk or like they do and run like they do, they get teased, of course.
Yeah.
But if they get a chance to realize that that friend might have been electrocuted, you don't know.
I know.
They
Yep.
may have a birth defect. They could have been burned like me, or in an auto accident, or a barbecue fire, or some people have had lye poured on them. All kind of
Mhm.
so I try to uh, 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 give them a sensitivity for their peers and not find themselves quickly teasing someone that you could be in the same situation. And
Yeah.
I try to convey it in such a way that they realize these are still your friends. They're still they want to be cared for and they're willing to care for you if you let them. So anyway,
Mhm.
that's kind of what I do when you can't change a fool, but a fool can keep quiet, and then he learns how to subdue himself to the point,
Mhm.
hopefully one day, where he'll allow himself to be converted.
Yeah. Have you always been this way, so calm and so just open and surrendered? Like when you were younger, did you get angry? Did you ever get in a fight? I mean,
Oh yeah, I got in a lot of fights. My fights were because I never smoked and drank and stuff like that. But I would tell my friends, I really, you know, I'd all challenge them. Why are you smoking? What your breath smells when you smoke. Why are you drinking? Your eyes are glossy and your breath smells. You're stumbling and what's the point in it? What value? And so of course they didn't like that, and it would sometimes cause a little battle here and there.
uh,
Yeah,
uh,
but so those I got into, but it was mainly because of moral. What I would look at as uh, immoral activities that just think about it for a moment. I and another thing that I was kind of raised up on, which I have such greater value now than ever before. There was a famous uh, singer, and he was a writer and singer, and he wrote a song. Uh, anyway, the basic word was, "Why don't you check out your mind? It's been with you all the time." And that excuse me, part of this face transplant is a lot different than installing a liver, lung, heart, kidney, where you take one out and you put another one in. A face transplant, you have another. I have another forehead. That's a transplant in itself. I have another pair of cheeks. I have another chin. I have another pair of lips. I have another nose. And this nose likes to run whether I want it to or not. It just has its own personality, behavior, and I don't agree with it at all. But nevertheless, so that's a real big difference in a face transplant because
Wow.
you're really looking at stripping a person's face and the donor's face as well as mine, and connecting muscles, nerve endings, blood vessels, tendons, tissue. So all that has to be, and some of it's not fully connected. It doesn't, it's not as tight as the normal person. So it is very unique, not just unique
Yeah,
process,
right,
but
right. Wow.
quite intricate.
So
But
how did,
go
oh,
ahead.
sorry. No, go ahead.
Well, ladies are always first. I know the rules.
Well, I'm just curious. So how did you get to where you are? Like, how did you keep going? Like, what actions? Like, how did you, when you were told you can't do it after 50, how did you, and not you, but your vessel? Can I say that? What actions did you take to actually get to the point where you could get a transplant?
Yeah. Well, when after being burned, uh, it took about 4 years to recover from the burns, and so because I looked, you know, uh, really weird, like a Halloween mask, uh, it really wasn't difficult. I was used to, even though I had to use a big syringe to drink from, a 60 milliliter syringe to drink from. And even today, I can only drink out of a straw. I cannot use a glass or a cup or a bottle. My lips won't go around it. But you could, well, in my case, I got used to my face. It wasn't difficult because, Kathryn, there was a joy I had. Well, I still have it, but it's, it's almost like let's just take one of the prettiest girls and one of the ugliest guys. And you wonder, well, what about this guy could she really, how did they get together? What is it about him that he just treated her so nice.
Mm,
So
yeah.
if God can treat me that way,
Mm,
well, what else matters?
mm,
And so it wasn't difficult for me to go and do what I could do
mm-hmm.
throughout my, experience. So when I was introduced to a face transplant, uh, it seemed like God gave me the green light. He opened every door possible. So it wasn't like a major challenge to me. Now, obviously, it is a major issue for everyone under the sun, including my family and my daughter in particular. Because they don't want. They saw me in the hospital for
Oh
6 months.
my gosh,
And,
yeah.
you talk about suffering and challenges and anger and
Oh,
how you get over. This is the caregivers, the family, their challenges are far greater, for me at least, than mine. So uh, it's not a cakewalk in the sense that I'm just in the la la land. But in terms of the degree of comfort and joy, when's the last time you used the term joy?
I love joy.
See,
Yes.
it's a
Yeah.
nice term, but hardly any of us can say, well, I've experienced joy in my heart.
Mm,
But they can say I was happy, I felt good, I enjoyed this, you know.
mm-hmm.
But I know now. I I have a joy that is much greater than any degree of posture that I had before the accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you, how was it paid for? How did all of the surgeries? I can't even imagine.
Well, so it's easy for us to try to articulate anything else, but God just made the way. How do I get through all of this?
Yeah.
Why are we talking today if it weren't for this, what's called a miraculous experience? Now,
Oh,
now what is it that I got? What do my background qualify me to do? My surgeon is the premier face transplant surgeon in the world. Now, I don't mean in the U.S., I mean
yeah.
in the world. There's
Wow.
only been 15 in the U.S., and he did 10 of those.
What's
No
his
one
name?
has done. Dr. Bolden Tomahawk.
Got it. Golden
Yeah.
Tomahawk. Yeah.
So he, you know, no one has done more than two in the
Oh,
whole world, and
wow.
there's only been about 11 countries that have had individuals do a face transplant, and he's done 10. So
Oh,
how do I get connected with him? He called me. How does that happen? A Kaiser Hospital has no trans, face transplant, which, well, hardly anyone does anyway. And
mm,
I'm on the West Coast. All the activity in terms of medical transplants, that's on the East Coast.
mm.
How do I get connected that way? You ask, how did the cost come about? I certainly wasn't through me. So, um, what I can tell you some of the details, but basically, the a grant, the Department of Defense, U.S. Department of Defense, put together a grant. They had over 300 candidates for face transplant, and to do a trial, they contracted the hospitals to do 10 successful face transplants. So I was a part of that 10.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I like to ask just because finances can become such a prohibitive thing when people experience major health, and they think there's no hope. They feel so hopeless because of financials. And I think one of my favorite books is The Surrender Experiment by Michael Singer. And he talks so much about just the art of surrender and just surrendering to what happens and to allowing wisdom. And I feel like I've never talked to anyone that's more in the space of active surrender than you and what you taught us all through your experience. It's really quite amazing.
Well, I like of the idea of surrender, but I certainly, if I had a choice, if I only had one word to use, I'd probably take that word out because uh, it's such a joy. The flesh does fight against what God is able or willing to do for you. However, He still knows, just like mom, she always gives the child an incentive before something. She knows that he's got to have a needle or something. She does a whole kind of thing, to get him prepared. but
Mm-hmm.
God does too.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't have to surrender. I'm enjoying the ride.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
he just even when okay, so I discovered my lips were burned off. Now that's not easy for a person to uh, accept, appreciate, live with. You could be in denial. You could not just all kind of things could happen. But I talk I talk to God about that. I you know I told him I know you don't want me to stop sharing your wonderful words and how you treated me over all these years and over all. It's been too wonderful for me to hold back, but you allowed my lips to get burned off. So, and part of my tongue is burned off too, by the way.
Mhm.
So, I don't know, I can't sing or dance. What, how, here I am trying to
Yeah.
articulate just, what's my next step? What do you have in mind? What can I do to be a part of this new person and whatever your intentions are? How do I, handle this? And as I'm trying my best to articulate all these thoughts and feelings, I heard a verbal voice, kindness. That's what I heard. Now the room didn't shake, but I heard him say, kindness. And Kathryn, that was all I needed to hear. Because I realized that God was showing me that no matter how much I do this, see, uh, He wants me to come up higher. Well, somebody might say, well, Robert, you were already kind of nice. You were a gentleman. And, oh, yeah, you were. God is saying He is looking for a holy people. And I don't fit that category. Get rid of so that He can overflow or provide even a greater portion in a way that He would be pleased with, not man. See, man would say, oh, you're already a nice guy. See? But God is saying, get rid of the old man. See? And that's really under the heading that I would put under the heading of not inequality, but iniquity. See, iniquity is sin of the heart, hidden sins of the heart. What do you mean, hidden sin? You see, there are certain things you're just not going to do, even as lovely as you are, kind, sweet, caring, all the you there. You know, how many times should I forgive? 7 times? No, 70 times. Are you ready to do that? Well, maybe not, because that's not. No, I might do it but I'm not going to. So that's iniquity.
Wow.
Personal choices that we adjust, and so we all have them.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be holy carrying that along with me.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's helped me to, and I realize that kindness will pay more dividends than any man can measure.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah. Absolutely. How long was it before you could talk?
Uh, After the burns, I couldn't talk. Well, I woke up out the coma, right? So I was already, and so it was around 3 weeks, a long 3 weeks.
Wow.
I had to use a board and try to write what I could, and then my fingers,
Oh my
because they're
gosh.
cadaver I can't make a piss. It's just, so, you can't bend them like, so it was hard to write too. But anyway, yeah, and it took about 3 weeks. I'm trying to do this, do that.
Oh my gosh.
But you see, what was difficult doesn't mean horrible or terrible or bad. I mean, it's a challenge, but you get into some calculus problems, and that'll be a challenge to figure out too.
Yeah. Yeah. You talked about your daughter. Who else was in your network at that time that supported you in getting through it?
Well, I was very, very fortunate. I had no idea, of course, the first 6 months. And then when I did wake up, look, you ask who supported me. Trying to share with you why I needed support. Um, the When you're in the hospital, I was in there a year and a half.
Oh my gosh.
So who takes care of your mortgage or a rental or whatever?
Yeah, right.
Who handles your other obligation, credit card, bank inactivity, your customers? I was self-employed. They sent in a purchase order, and I wasn't able to fulfill it or respond back to it. If they request a quotation, I couldn't respond and give them one. So you lose, and people call you and you can't call back. They don't know you're in the hospital like that.
Yeah.
So you lose virtually anything that you did have. It's gone. Your reputation. Oh, Robert, you say you're a Christian, and look at, you're all in the messed up and, burnt up and everything else. And, there's so much that can take place. So you ask about support. You know, it seemed like they came out the woodworks. The friend, people, one friend, my business was held in a I was in the hospital like in Irvine, which is like a 45-minute drive from where my office is. And he went every week and picked up my business mail. Another picked up my personal mail from another location. Another handled Obamacare. That's what cared for me during my burns and all that. Another handled the lawyer for the drunk driver case. Another handled the insurance. Another handled my customers. And the the factory that provided my products, John Cook, a company named J.P. Cook, J.P. as in Peter Cook, with a K-E. Anyway, they handled all my customers, responded to them, uh, billed them, and they sent my daughter the commissions, even to this very day.
Oh my
This has been 11 years. So who could orchestrate that? You say I have to do some things. So I'm sharing this in support of the trust that we can have in our Heavenly Father is exponential. I mean, a person can look to dad for everything, either mom or dad, depending on what, Well, how much more can we look to God? I couldn't say these things if I had not personally experienced. We wouldn't be talking today, would we? And so the support came from everywhere to at least, be comforting to me and helping my family out, my daughter in particular. But uh, that's kind of what. Now afterwards, like now, the support is unfortunately. I'm in this hotel right now. I use my credit card. You have to leave your credit card for incidentals. Even though the hotel is being paid for by the association, the American Society for Plastic. Well, uh, my they charge $500 for my incidentals. They withhold that, and I only had $600 in credit.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So, uh, because the medical expenses are so great, before we started the transplant procedure, they had to see whether my body would handle the medication because it's very, very expensive, and obviously it's a strong the types of medication that I would have to take the rest of my life is strong medications. And so one medication in 2016, I had to take it for 6 weeks to make sure my body would be able to handle it. That one medication cost $11,300 for a 60-day supply.
Wow. Yeah.
So that was in 2016. So uh, my adjustments have been monumental. And remember, you have lost everything. You lost your credit if you had any. You lost your car. Of course, my car was all burned up, and everything. So, and all the clothes, I was weighing maybe 185 pounds before the accident. I went all the way down, up and down, depending on the surgeries. There was at least 30 surgeries just in the first 6 months. There's been many, that doesn't include the amputations and the transplants and all that. But, so finance-wise, uh, there's very little support for that.
Yeah.
That's why we just developed the advocacy effort with the Robert Chelsea Foundation. Because all over we discovered, and during the burns, they're just, people really, they don't consider that as something they should support on a long-term basis.
Yeah. Got it.
So,
yeah, Robert Chelsea Foundation. So it's RobertChelsea.org.
yes.
Yeah, that's where you have your story there, your bio. I mean, I think about the statistics right now of young kids, so many identifying with persistent hopelessness, so much violence happening. I feel like, Robert, we need to get you out there talking to everyone, talking especially to the youth. I mean, so much wisdom in your story. And, kids get in youth, and I did too until I learned differently, get so upset about some of the most trivial things. And I think your story is a real testament to the human spirit and how we can endure with grace and forgiveness and joy and wonder and awe throughout whatever kind of life hands our way.
Well, the joy develops in time if you're consistent, and I do see obviously a value in getting the messages out, the positive messages to our children. However, I think the greater message must be to whosoever has an ear to hear, because there was another famous man that said, "I'm looking at the man in the mirror, and asking him to change his ways. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and change.
Mm-hmm.
How in the world are you going to tell a child, do I have to go everywhere or
Yes.
can
Just
we
kidding. Yeah, right.
can we go everywhere?
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
can't go everywhere unless we are changing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's where
Yes.
it starts. It still starts at the top,
Yeah,
if you will,
for
not at the
sure.
bottom.
Yeah.
And I think, and I know not think, but another man said, uh, to force to circumcise the foreskin of your heart. You see,
Wow. Who said
yeah,
that?
yeah. That's the anatomical challenge,
Yeah.
and that's where it comes from. It's not the children, and
Yeah.
obviously children do as they see.
I
Uh,
know.
yeah.
I know. Yes. Who said that
So
second quote? Do you know?
uh, say it again. I'm sorry.
Who said that second quote? Who was that second quote by?
Which one?
The foreskin of your heart.
Oh, that was Jeremiah, the fourth chapter of Jeremiah.
Okay. Got it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
And Michael Jackson being the first one. The mirror, the
uh,
man in the mirror.
yeah, Michael Jackson. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I also mentioned, why don't you check out your mind? It's been with you all the time. That was,
Yeah.
you know who that was?
No.
Curtis Mayfield.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Wow.
don't know
I
if
like,
you ever heard that. But
yeah.
it's really the battle has always been. We don't have to deal with it, but it's always been within us. Uh,
Yes.
you want to change.
Yeah.
You want all of these wonderful things to happen, and yet, remember you talked about action. You shared that on so. Well, then
Yeah.
there's your action, and you
Yeah.
can do it 24/7. You can do it night or day. You can do it light or shine,
Yeah.
and you don't have to solicit anything or anyone else.
Yeah.
Uh, so the improvement can be it can be rewarding for you. You
Yeah.
want something new to happen. You want to change well. Let's let's start enjoying that ride within
Yeah.
us to work it
Yes.
out.
Yes. Yes. Wherever that ride takes us. Yeah, so do you have any final words you'd like to share with our listeners before we check off? Again, if you want to support Robert and his work and mission and life and human self, robertchelsea.org. There's a lot more info about him on his website too, and just an incredibly inspiring story. And so, as I knew, as soon as we started talking, so much wisdom, even though you don't want me to tell you that. But really, you've taught me a lot, even just over this short period. But anything else you want to share with our listeners?
Well, you said I taught you a lot. Well, Kathryn, it takes two to do any kind of tango.
Yes.
So, and so, uh, as I mentioned to you, he that has ears to hear. So we have to be open.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
ever think, oh yeah, you're the one that get. No, 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 no. How about I'm the one that received it? I'm the beneficiary. I open my heart, and the more we can. Oh my God! I mean,
I
let's
know.
just try not to resist, no
Yeah.
more than I ask my mother not to help me and to patch me up. Try not to resist God's willingness to patch us up. See, patch our
Oh,
heart up, cleanse
yeah.
our heart. And the last thing I would say, I guess, uh, is, and that's to, I would say, I guess, people that want consider themselves leaders, because you can't be much of a leader and you smoking, drinking, cursing, and beating up your women. Uh, but no matter how smart a man or woman may be, I think integrity talent, or intelligence is meaningless without a sweet spirit that's endowed in kindness.
Mm-hmm.
There's just no way to lead successfully. You can lead by corporate standards. You can lead by your alma mater. You can lead by your own family standards, your church standards, etc. But it's if we can just learn God's standards. Number one, it doesn't deviate like ours. But now we can present, as we learn his standards, not Robert's, but his. Now we can provide a much greater, solid, positive, secure, valuable to anyone that's around or that has an open ear to hear.
Yeah.
You can't give me a best. My best is not worth 10 cents on the open market.
Yeah.
But his is I'm going to have to take time to give somebody's best. What should I give yours or mine?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe the famous, or should I give our Heavenly Father's?
Beautiful.
He's still real no matter how, So if there's any final words on anyone for anyone at any time, I would hope that it would be to let them turn their heart to the rock.
Oh, thank you so much, Robert. I know you're off to a big award dinner, and I'm so proud of you. And I'm going to be there with you in spirit. And it's been a real pleasure talking to you and just giving me the time to share your story and share your stories with others. I think so much wisdom for others dealing with all different kinds of challenges in their life. Yeah, you have a really important story and one that the world needs to hear. Absolutely. So to all of you listening in, again, it's robertchelsea.org. So please be sure to check out Robert. He's a beautiful soul. I've really appreciated your time and connecting with you, and appreciate all you listeners listening in. If you found value, please do be sure to share this podcast with others so we can get the message out and start really showcasing how people get through hard times and seemingly really unimaginable situations and navigate their way through. And Robert, you did so and are doing so beautifully, and we can all learn so much for you. So thank you all for listening in, and thank you to Robert for your time and being here today and being so open and vulnerable.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Kathryn. Thank you for your precious heart. I mean, to take this kind of time out to allow others to share with you rather than you speaking or sharing or convincing and, promoting yourself, it's something special to be able to let another person share their thoughts and values. So thank you very much. Keep shining your hope on others.
Thank you. Yeah, I learned so much from others. So I'm really grateful. So thank you so much. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day.
So thank you all for listening in to the Hope Matrix podcast. We want to shine a light that hope is teachable, hope is measurable and teachable, and provide you with actionable insights for how you can start activating hope in your life today, and provide a framework so you can start talking about hope with other people and practice these skills together, because we are better with hope. Please feel free to check out theshinehopecompany.com, where we list all of our resources around how to hope. We have a lot of free programs for how to hope, including the 5-day challenge, our hope infographic with a lot of skills that showcase how to hope, and articles of how to incorporate hope into your life. We have the Hope Beat Weekly, which is a weekly newsletter that shares strategies for hope. We have a My Hope Story template, so you can write your own hope story today. Also, My Hope Hero, so we can share what our heroes are doing to activate hope in their lives. And this is especially good with youth, so they can start looking up to people that have overcome similar challenges to them and seeing how these heroes use the Shine Hope framework. We have a Hopeful Minds for Teens program, a Hopeful Minds overview, educator guides. We have a new evidence-based college course so you can activate hope on the college campus. There are programs in the workplace, overview courses, 90-minute courses for learning the what, why, and how to hope. What I want you to know about hope is it's a skill. You've got to practice these skills to become hopeful. It's easy to fall into despair and helplessness when we deal with challenges in life, and it takes intentional work and practice to get to hope. And yet it is always possible. So no matter what life brings, keep shining hope. Thanks so much for listening in. Have an awesome day. And of course, I've got to add that this program is designed to assist you in learning about hope. It should not be used for medical advice, counseling, or other health-related services. I, Fred, the Shine Hope Company, and myself, Kathryn Goetzke, do not endorse or provide any medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. I am not a medical doctor. The information provided here should not be used for the diagnosis or treatment of any medical condition and cannot be substituted for the advice of physicians, licensed professionals, or therapists who are familiar with your specific situation. Consult a licensed medical profession or call 911 if you are in need of immediate assistance. And be sure to know the crisis hotline, 988, if you are in need of support. Thanks a bunch for listening. Take good care of yourself and keep shining hope.